beautiful art. It's a beautiful time of day too. It's my favorite times of day. Yeah, so we're hanging out, we're traveling at Airbnb. We are also going to talk a little bit about Oh yeah, I'm covering my mic with my finger again. I hate when I do that. There's something wrong with the positioning they chose to put these microphones on phones, like actual. I know. I'm trying not to. That should be better. I always forget. We good? Can I close this? Yeah. Awesome. I have an adorable little kitchen here. I'm very excited to stay. Have a couple layers of security. There we go. Now everybody can hear. Oh, Dane's here. Hi, Dane. How's it going? Look at our little Airbnb. It's adorable. Yeah, I was telling them how bad I think the FBI is. What do you think about the FBI, Andy?
Oh, they're great.
They're so great. I agree. No, we know that they overlooked the Larry Nassar case. We know what they did with Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. All of this stuff was total and complete nonsense. And, you don't have one. We don't have one.
No, that's the car key.
Oh, it's in the car.
The car.
Yeah. Yep. So I think that what we really need to focus on is how the government was interfering with Americans' free speech. Oh, there we go. You can see my jeans. These are just stains, not actually spots. I don't know what happened to my jeans. I think they got bleached. I keep distracting myself. I'm sorry, guys. I'm going to try to focus. Here we go. And I'm not going to talk for very long because we have so much to do between now and tomorrow. As I said earlier, we're at America Fest. We're going to be hanging out with all the conservatives for a few days. It's going to be a lot of fun. And I guess something I really wanted to shout out was Public Square, because apparently somebody used my code Sour Patch Lyds to register their business with Public Square, which is absolutely incredible, and I'm so excited for that. I think that's awesome. And I hope that if you guys own businesses, you will do the same thing. It's truly a delightful app. It's really a big, important part of winning an actual culture war. Here comes Andy. Dun, dun, dun. Hello, sir. You're the star of the show.
Oh.
Just kidding. Here's Andy's feet. Yeah, so. Okay, where was I going with this? The FBI is terrible. They ignored Larry Nassar. They ignored Jeffrey Epstein. They ignore all sorts of stuff, but they do target concerned parents at parent-teacher meetings. That's their high priority recently. And as far as other government agencies, we also know that the IRS is going to fully overlook Sam Bankman-Fried's discrepancies while holding us to account for every $600 we send to each other via Venmo. So, good times for sure. Totally above board, totally transparent. I did not go with Timcast. This is a totally independent venture. That's who we are now. We do independent ventures for sure. Room looks great. It is a nice Airbnb, except you can hear sirens, which I didn't realize we'd be able to hear. Beautiful pictures. Beautiful picture. A secretive refrigerator that we're not supposed to use. I'm dying to know what's inside it. Might have to let you guys know later if I discover anything uncomfortable, but I don't expect to. Anyway, all I wanted to say about the FBI information that we've received about Twitter through Matt Taibbi is that I think that this fully 100% amounts to violations of the First Amendment. There goes Andy. He's checking out the fridge.
There's a secret fridge.
There's nothing in there. What the heck? No wine, no human heads, no human anything.
Heads everywhere.
No animal anything. It's just an empty fridge. And they just don't want us to use that, just a small one, so that's fine. I think that the crossover between the FBI and the Twitter was so egregious that it 100% amounts to an infringement of American civil rights. I feel like anybody who used Twitter and who was silenced by any means that the FBI influenced should be able to seek legal recourse. And I'm so excited for what Elon Musk is doing. And I also don't know if you guys saw, but there was a little bit of a Thursday night massacre last night where a whole bunch of journalists were suspended. So first of all, they were only suspended for a week, which is not something that anybody realized at the time. Everybody was super upset. Everybody was so on edge about this, and the journalists were losing their ish. They were like, how can this be happening? Because I was thinking about it and I was like, why do they feel this way? Because honestly, I felt like every other day one of my friends was being suspended for something silly or dumb or saying the wrong word in the wrong context. But these journalists have never seen this. And I heard they were holding a space talking to one of the people who was suspended, and they were all like, ooh, wow, what's it like? That's crazy. And I was like, wow, this is so foreign to them.
Like being the victim of fascism?
Right, exactly. So I was like, this has got to be so weird for them, seriously, because it's like they've never been in a position where any kind of institution has ever pushed back on them. And honestly, I wrote an article about why conservatism is good for your brain, and I basically said it's because all of the institutions are pushing back on you all the time. It forces you to keep yourself sharp. It forces you to stay on top. Like, holy crap, this can happen to us too? This is unbelievable. And I feel like they're throwing temper tantrums. And all the people who were so gung-ho about censoring conservatives are now very excited about the idea of free speech when it comes to their rights. And this is something that we have been telling these lefties for so long. We've been like, hey, you know what? You probably shouldn't root for this, because what if one day the table's table and it turns out that the power is no longer in your control? Maybe you should think about what might happen then. No? But they didn't. They refused to listen. So now it's like, I do know the camera is facing the other direction. Yeah, I'm showing them our awesome art. I'm showing them our Airbnb. It's awesome. No, I cannot show my face. I was on a plane all day long and I'm like all sweaty and gross and I need a shower and all that jazz. But this is such a lovely afternoon.
At least
I would share with you.
Close-up of the painting.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah. America is a litigious nation. That's correct. Everybody hit the like button. Yeah, man. Thanks, Miles. St. Miles. Appreciate that. Thank you, making sure. Yeah, I didn't want anyone to see my face right now. I have to basically stop myself from responding to every blue and on check marks on Twitter for flipping out over this. Hold on, I can't see. Why did these comments disappear? I want to see the chat. Let's go. Here we go, live chat. No, see, it doesn't do anything. That's so frustrating. Anyway, yeah, I would not hold myself back from responding to these crazy blue checks. Yeah, see, it doesn't show it. Oh, there we go. That's weird. It just
Sometimes the live chat
disappears.
doesn't load right on
Just vanishes.
on regular
Yeah, so weird.
web YouTube.
Yeah.
Don't cover the mic.
Yeah, I'm not. Okay, I have to basically stop myself from responding to every blue and on checkmark on Twitter for flipping out over this. Then I remind myself that even the most articulate reply will be met with deflection. That's true. But like I'm always telling you guys, we're not arguing with the people we're supposedly arguing with by responding to them. We're arguing with the people who will see our response. The people who might possibly be persuaded. Because I don't think you're going to persuade an ideologue. But you might persuade somebody who... Andy's making hand puppets. That's great, babe. Did you bring Dip with you? I wish! Oh, that would have been really fun. He's at home with the parents, having a good time, causing all sorts of trouble for them, and I'm happy for him. Thanks, babe. Looks like a dinosaur. Look at this. You want to narrate what I'm saying? You want to just like make faces while I talk? Thank you, dear. I appreciate this invaluable service. That's me. That's me talking. Yeah, I'm like the teachers from Charlie Brown. Somebody says now do a bird. Somebody says you can just, Miles says you can just carry a pic of Hermione and put it up in front of the camera. Same thing. Not quite. Oh, it's beautiful, Andy. Thank you so much. I appreciate your interpretive art there.
It's kind of weird with the Venetian blinds.
I like the blinds. I think it's neat. It makes it really artsy. I interacted with one of these left-wing loonies on Twitter recently, and they actually had a change of mind since my tweets weren't instantly removed. Yeah, so one of the things I've seen is that when I ask them simple, basic, like Socratic questions like why, like how, when did this happen, who said this, pretty much immediately get blocked 99% of the time. But my comment is still there. People who aren't that ideological person can still be persuaded. Oh, look how cultured we are. We have a book about China here. Anyway, thank you for distracting me, dear. I do appreciate that. You got to turn it on the wall, babe.
Oh, I'm looking for a light.
Yeah, it's okay. Don't worry about it. We're doing great. We didn't sleep very much. We got up super, super early so we could make this flight.
Let's see.
You're going to read a book about China?
Yeah, just keep going.
You're going to read a book about censorship because that's exactly what we're talking about here.
I just want to give the people something to look at while you talk.
Okay, thank you, dear. I liked your shadow puppets.
Thank
That was
you.
great. But yeah, when we argue with blue checks, it's not necessarily for the blue checks themselves, although sometimes they'll listen to us. It's for the people who are curious about what we're saying, or people who follow them, like secondarily, who might have an interest in them. I got called a Russian spy today. Well, that's how you know you're doing all the right stuff, right? I remember the days of getting included on a blockchain for just following certain people. Yeah, I'm still on blockchains just for following certain people. And in fact, I want I want you guys all to know that I'm still blocked by Cat Turd for not loving Trump enough. I think that was my crime because I never interacted with Cat Turd. Really,
Who's Cat Turd?
It's super pro Trump. Twitter user, and I just don't know anything about them. All I know is that they really don't like me because I've been blocked since like 2021. So,
well, we lost a few Sour Patch Lyds subscribers because you briefly said
true.
like
I briefly mentioned I was like,
you just said I don't think Trump is really 100% right in this instance.
Yeah.
And he said, "Oh, TDS."
I was like, okay,
unsubscribed.
All right, fine. Whatever works for you. I'm not going to make you stay subscribed to me if you don't like what I have to say. That's quite fine. But I do like the idea of kind of being able to bring an adversarial point of view. Oh, look at this gentleman playing this Chinese fiddle. That's so neat. Look at all these instruments. That's cool. Good stuff. Anyway, yeah, I'm not going to be super pro-Trump. I'm not going to be super pro-anyone. I'm going to be on the side of people who have good ideas. And even somebody who we don't agree with most of the time can still have good ideas. Like lots of people right now are talking trash about Scott Adams, and I don't really think that's fair. Scott's a very smart guy. He's not necessarily an expert in every field. And I think it's good when you listen to a podcast to just remember that people aren't experts about everything they talk about. I don't know if you guys ever watched Timcast IRL, but we certainly weren't experts. We just were inquiring minds, asking questions about what was going on.
I definitely wouldn't listen to Scott Adams when it comes to like relationship advice.
Oh yeah. I probably wouldn't either. He strikes me as
He's very cynical about people.
It's pretty cynical.
He's been divorced
couple times.
2 times.
Yeah, poor guy. I'm genuinely empathetic. I know that's super hard, but yeah, there are certain people I wouldn't go to for like. I probably wouldn't go to Scott for relationship advice. Who else would we not go to for like a certain kind of? Probably wouldn't go to, what's that guy who talks only about the gold standard for advice about Bitcoin?
Schiff.
Peter Schiff. I wouldn't go to Peter Schiff for advice about Bitcoin because he hates Bitcoin. He says gold's the only way.
I'm sure he'd be a great person to talk to about investing in gold,
He would be super interesting. Yeah, very interesting. And everybody pretty much agrees that gold's always going to have some kind of value. Again, not investment advice, but...
I thought this book would be more interesting. It's just
pictures of people from China? That's great. I love it.
It's fine.
I actually like to look at
more architecture.
People who live there. Oh, maybe further in. Who knows? Oh, look at that. There's some bulls. I love it. Let me read some of these comments. These are great. Thank you guys for joining us. I know with this really weird setup I have here. I have a little tiny table. I have no idea how this is going to work, but it's going to be kind of fun to try to figure out. Hope you're not in Ukraine. Absolutely not.
You hook up to that TV as the monitor.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
You're going to be staring straight up.
Tell Cat Turd yes to stop being a turd. Good advice. Trump didn't really do anything while he was in office. Yeah, see, Trump I think he really tried to do stuff while he was in office, and huge props for that. He went in as a businessman. He's like, well, I can do all this stuff. All I have to do is get rid of these certain people, and he didn't realize that the permanent state, there's people you can't fire, there's procedures you have to follow.
He could have fired a lot of them, though. He just kept a lot of people that were garbage.
I think that Trump's biggest flaw was that he thought he would get on good terms with the media. He thought it could become friends with journalists, and honestly, can't be. Can't be. Absolutely can't be. And I'm so glad that Elon Musk has figured this out. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I think that Elon Musk is going to be able to accomplish what Trump was not able to accomplish. But it'll be a company, not the country, obviously. To be fair, Luke has been the most uncharitable to Trump on the show, but we like that about him. Nobody 100% agrees with anyone. Also, his debate with Michael Knowles last night was perfect. Yeah, for sure. Love Michael Knowles. He's a great input. Michael Knowles was one of the first people I saw, one of the first big people on Twitter I saw say that he felt bad for Sam Brinton. And I have to say, truly, that I really do agree. I think that Michael is a truly kind, nice person. He remembered me and Andy when we stopped and visited.
He's a super nice guy.
Such a nice guy when we visited in Nashville, and he is so conversational and so friendly. It doesn't surprise me that he was being so charitable to Sam Brinton. And he definitely had good points, but there definitely were signs that he probably wasn't the right person for a high security clearance job. I'm just saying. So hopefully he gets the help that he clearly needs. Hey, the Red Bike Master got here as soon as I could. Glad you could make it. Good times. He's joining Andy's nerd groups. That's good times too. If you guys are like programmers and want to get in on some of this pro-freedom stuff, we can have Andy vet you over on Signal. You are welcome. Do you have DMs open on Twitter, dear?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, if
Twitter, really.
if he has open DMs on Twitter, you're more than welcome to message him.
You can try to DM me, yeah.
Yeah, see if he does. Or tweet at him. You can tweet at him.
Yeah.
You can just check it for the next couple days. How are the prices? Question mark, question mark, question mark, at your location. They're actually pretty reasonable. Not bad. I really love Airbnb. It's a lot more fun than a hotel. It always is. It's always the case because hotel is really just a shoebox, honestly. Whereas an Airbnb is like so much character. Like, seriously, look at this.
A bit of an element of mystery.
Yeah. Like, who knows what's in that refrigerator?
Like that
Could be something horrible.
The one in L.A.
We went to a really creepy one in L.A.
Maybe like a horrifying backstory.
It was so bad. And the carpet was so painful.
Yeah, the carpet was made out of like
broken glass or something.
Yeah.
It was crazy. Yeah, we have such interesting stories about staying in LA. It was a beautiful setting up in the hills, but it was creepy. And then the carpet was like rolled rattan, where if you walked with bare feet, it was like your feet were being cut. It was horrible.
And when the guy came over to greet us to let us in and everything, it just, I don't want to say too much because I don't want to give away any personal information.
It was Hollywood.
But
how about that?
It felt like it was the beginning of some kind of horror story. Yes. that we were entering.
I was like, oh, we're just gonna tread really lightly here. Oh yeah, Red Bike Master says I use hotels for work, Airbnb for vacation. Yeah, same idea. When we're traveling and we want to do something a little different, we'll do the Airbnb. Haha, I live just east of LA. Oh gosh, good luck. It's terrifying out there. You should do an Airbnb backstory on these places. Yeah, at this place, somebody was murdered 40 years ago, but they don't tell you that. You have to look in the local... No, I'm just kidding. It's fine. I think Airbnb is awesome, and I think that it's really a good way to get in touch with kind of how your community actually lives. Live stream. Taking a tour of an Airbnb is a great way of showing your host what it looks like. Lots of owners of these places have no clue. Nothing to do with them. They just sign papers. I believe that this owner is fully involved. There's more than one unit, but they go to great lengths to tell you exactly what you got to do and how to, get into the building. And they even give you a little passcode that you have to repeat back to them when you reply to them to make sure that you read through the whole thing. And of course I did, so no worries. Somebody says, oh, hell no, I value my life. Yeah, you never know with these Airbnbs. You might go in and never come out again, but at least it would be cute. Cute, the setting of your desk.
Here's the architecture I was looking
cool.
for.
That's neat. There's that round gate. Magical. Very cool. Anyway, well, this is a little bit of a rambly conversation, but here's a book about China in the meantime. Remember when Crowder's crew had someone take an Airbnb in Chaz when it was happening in 2020? Really? I don't remember that. That's incredible. I'm sure they had to like crawl into a tent or
They
something
went
crazy
into
like
the
that.
Chaz.
Yeah. They
So
did.
was it just like one of those like neighborhoods that they took over?
Yeah. I think it was like the tent city that they
Great
put
Wall.
together. Oh, it's cool. That wall is so great. Look at that. That's really dope, man.
I believe that I've heard that this is not actually visible from space, and in fact, it's not very
What?
wide. So why would it be?
Yeah, that's a good question.
There's plenty of larger structures made by man.
Yeah, it's only like 4 people wide. Look at that. It's a scam.
Exactly.
Not
Yeah.
visible from space. Maybe really
The
low.
Great Wall
Earth
of China
orbit.
is why?
Hey. Fear Melts Bree says, "Can a bunch of anarchists please run for office and clean house?" 3 question marks. What do you
No,
think? No, it's never gonna happen.
I don't think so.
You don't think they'd clean house?
Do you think so? I don't know.
I don't
Michael
know.
Malice probably.
Yeah, I think he would. I think he'd
I
be
don't think
great.
I don't think any anarchist would want to.
Yeah, I don't think an anarchist would want to participate in the system at all, which is a little bit of a problem when you're seeing problems
Unless
with
maybe
the system.
your plan is to get in and shut everything down.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. They rented an Airbnb apartment from the warlord of Chazistan, if I recall correctly. Andy is correct. It's not visible from space. Somebody else says it's long, though. True.
Yeah.
Both of these things can be true at the same time. Oh, yeah, Quarter Block Garrett. He was the one who went to Chaz. Fascinating. Somebody says he had a fun time getting out of there, too. Jeez, I'm sure.
There are, in fact, lots of structures, man-made structures, that are visible from space, but the Great Wall of China is not one of them, even though that's one of those funny
they always
facts
say.
that people
Yeah.
have about the Great Wall of China. It's the only thing visible from space. It's like there's so many things fatter than the Great Wall of China.
Wider. Yeah.
Does anybody remember the time that Danny Way did a 360 over the Great Wall of China on a skateboard?
Whoa, fun
That was
trivia
cool.
question.
He did
That's
it-
crazy.
So the first time he tried it, he broke his ankle, and
Oh,
the
no
second
kidding.
time he did it, he landed it with the broken ankle.
Whoa, what a beast. I have a friend named Chaz, and we tease him constantly during that whole thing. That's great. I love it. Rhaegar says, Andy, the neighborhood they took over was in the gay area of Seattle called Capitol Hill. Yeah, Chaz, Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone. It's our state. It's in our state, and I'd been there a long time ago. It is a genuinely wild part of town. I'm not surprised at all. In Chicago, I know they have the Boys Town that has kind of a very similar vibe. Very interesting energy over there where people choose to group together with other people they agree with.
Look at these guys.
Oh, hey, what about the terracotta soldiers? Andy's going to show us now. This is Andy's hand. Don't cover the... Yeah,
These are
that's the problem, yeah.
the Hall of Heavenly Kings,
Oh, cool.
the Celestial Guardians.
That's so neat. There we go. Oh, you just got to push it down, arrow.
Terracotta soldiers. I don't know if
Yeah, I want to see the terracotta soldiers. Those things are super cool. I'd love to see this in person. Somebody was knocking...
look at that.
Somebody was knocking a sculpture from a really old settlement in Turkey because it's a lady who's super, super fat. And I was like, well, in this ancient culture, if you were fat, it meant that you were incredibly successful. It meant that your crops had been incredibly bountiful. And you were safe enough that you didn't constantly have to run. So I completely understand why a really, really fat lady would be like their role model, their ideal. And I was like, this makes sense to me. But, you know, people are like, oh, it's gross, she's fat. And I'm like, yeah, they thought it was cool back then because most people couldn't be. It was really cool for somebody to be able to do that. I had a bit of God back then, LOL. Yeah, me too, honestly.
I thought fat ladies were cool because it's like, wow, where'd you get all that food?
That's great. Tell me more.
People must love you.
Right, exactly. Oh, cool. Look at this lion. It's pretty chill. Tell him the truth. He ain't lying. Are there any mummies? That's always my question.
You can talk to people on the space station.
Oh,
if you
cool.
have a ham radio. That is something I've always wanted to get into. My dad's super into ham radio
That's
operation.
right, yeah. What does ham stand for, do you know? Hand?
Hardware
Hardware AM?
amplitude modulated. No, I don't know.
Are you making stuff up? Yeah, Andy making stuff up again. Meow, Dip speaks his language, and we never knew. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. He'd be worshipped in Egypt, and he speaks Chinese. He's a very well-cultured cat. Yes, Queen did in fact write a song about it. We're all very familiar with it.
Fat
That
bottomed
usually
girls.
means, yes, dear, thank you. Fat usually means fertile as well. Yeah, that is like the whole fertility goddess thing. And there's a really interesting
what's it called? The lady estrogen makes
you fat.
retain.
Yep. Makes you retain weight.
Yeah.
So you can have babies. Not surprising. But that was really interesting to me. Yeah, I completely understand respecting fertility. No, just click the down arrow. And that's what makes it come back. I figured it out. Yeah, cool beans.
This interface is ridiculous.
Ah, cool. Red Bike Master says, I'm actually working on my ham license. You guys have so much in common. I love it. Love it. That's something Andy will definitely get into as he gets older. No, don't show my face. Paparazzi. Get away from me.
Almost got her.
Dare you. But yeah, okay, I just wanted to mention that about what's going on with Twitter. I find it really fascinating. It really kind of is the biggest thing that's going on right now. It is so fascinating and illuminating that the FBI was so darn involved in that censorship. I really wonder if that opens the door to some kind of litigation against Twitter for their conspiracy with the government, for sure. You want to read our comments, babe?
Yeah, Rich says ham is not an acronym. It stands for pig meat.
Oh.
Ham is not an acronym, so it's kind of like wine is not an emulator, I think.
I see.
It's like a recursive acronym. The Red Bike Master says, anyway, it saddens me that ancient Chinese history is so suppressed by the CCP. Yeah, that is
for sure. They have so much. Such an old country.
They've gone through so many different revisions of their culture and so many different eras.
St. Miles says the Chinese round door is a fertility karma. That I'm going to have to fact check. But somebody was okay, so back to fat ladies, apparently. Somebody was pointing out on the Wikipedia page about this lady from this dig in Anatolia, Turkey, that she was set in a setting that's called the Queen of Animals, where she's sitting on a throne. Okay, apparently she's giving birth, which is weird enough as it is, but it makes sense. And then she has an animal on either side of her. She has like her hand on their head. And this is like a motif that's repeated through a bunch of different cultures that was so interesting. I was reading about that as we were getting on the plane this morning at 4:30 in the morning. So I'm going to have to look into that for sure, because I find that kind of thing fascinating. I would love to talk to somebody who's doing digs like that. But anyway, like I said before, we are at America Fest. So if you guys are in the area, you should stop by and check it out if you can still do so. I do not know if you can, but I'm sure tons and tons of clips will be coming out on all your favorite Instagram accounts and all your favorite Twitter accounts and lots of these YouTube channels. Josh Hawley's going to be speaking. Carrie Lake's going to be there. Andy No's going to be there. Of course, we are going to be there. Oh, Andy.
Andy, no.
Andy, no. Don't zoom in so much. Speaking of Chaz,
I can't control the zoom at all.
That's so irritating.
This interface is terrible.
It is kind of terrible because the chat is like right under your fingers.
We didn't have any time to...
I was just like, I just got to do a quick little stream.
Set anything up.
6 p.m. Eastern time. Excellent wine reference, LOL. Okay, you nerds, get a room. But yeah, it's going to be awesome. I'm going to be trying to live stream some of America Fest. I'm willing to bet that at 4 p.m. tomorrow, which is 6 p.m. Eastern time, we'll still be there. And if we are, we can just do a walk around and show you all what's going on behind the scenes. What do you guys think about that? Any other interesting comments? Terracotta soldiers might have weird connections to the godhood of the emperor. God made man out of clay. Clay soldiers, that is a very interesting idea. I don't know if you guys have read Terry Pratchett, but he wrote Feet of Clay, which was about golems that are made out of clay and how they develop a conscience to try to solve a mystery, which I thought was a really fascinating idea. Definitely check that book out for sure. If you guys have not read Terry Pratchett, you must do so now. And now Andy is going to tell you all about Linux, and then we can log off because we will have beaten our dead horses one last time.
I don't know what to talk about Linux about.
No, I'm just kidding. Just tell everyone to use Linux.
Look at these doorknob hangers.
That's so cool. They're like coat hooks. That's awesome.
They noticed how people can hang coats on doorknobs, and so they made hangers out of doorknobs.
I think that's great. Miles says, time to start cooking. Take care and have fun. Bye. Oh, Rhaegar says, I find golems terrifying as a concept. Yeah, they have roots in Jewish literature, which is super interesting. I want to know more about like the history behind them, because they transcend a bunch of different cultures. And anytime something transcends cultures, like the concept of the Great Flood, I feel like there's some element of transcendental human truth to it that needs to be explored. Because if a bunch of people are noticing the same thing, then there's some truth in there. Take it easy, guys, and be careful out there. All right, you guys, I think we will talk nerdy to me. Don't do that, Andy. Don't do it. I think we'll call it quits. I think we're good for the evening. Thank you all so much for joining us. Don't point that at me, I swear to God.
I'm just looking at the art in here.
Okay.
You made it difficult. There's not a whole lot, and I can't hold it that
He
steady.
keeps trying to point it at me. All right, bye, guys. We'll let you go, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
Bye, guys.